Have you ever had a really inspiring journey, even though you failed to reach your destination? This is a story of a journey I took in August this year to Yosemite National Park and why I failed to reach my destination, but still had the most amazing time. It reminded me that it's the journeys that matter, that shape our experiences and help us to grow, and the thoughts and art that inspires. So I am all packed up. I am ready to head up to Yosemite. We're going to go and spend 2 nights up at Glen Aulin, which is one of the High Sierra camps. The camp is closed, but we have permits to camp there. Means we'll have vault toilets and bear lockers, luxury. But we're planning to go up there and watch the Perseid showers. Now, every August, the Earth passes through the debris from the Swift-Tuttle comet, and that results in magnificent showers of meteors. And we wanted dark skies, so that's where we're going. I'm super excited. I haven't seen them before. The trail is about 7 miles in. We start at about 9,000 feet and we descend to about 8,000 feet. So even though it's not a super long hike, we will be hiking at altitude, which brings its own challenges. Anyway, I'm excited to get going and get up there and get into it. And I also have my art materials all packed and ready to go too. Really excited to do some drawing up there as well. We're heading up to Glen Aulin today. Super excited to be here in Tuolumne Meadows in Yosemite. It's just so beautiful here. Every time I come here, I'm blown away with the scenery and the granite and the trees, but excited to be seeing some rivers and waterfalls and to get on the trail and get up there. Hey, so I've just come around and we've just hit the Tuolumne River again, which is a very welcome sight. We've been through a pretty dry stretch of forest. It's pretty warm, which is why I put my hood up. A little bit more sun protection and a little bit more shade. But the views are spectacular. Every corner you go around, there's a different granite dome to look at. And you know, I'm just out here in my happy place. So I'm up here at the highest point and we just climbed up this ridge. It is just so amazing. I've kind of lost count of how many times I've said wow. It's really, really the most spectacular hike. And now we got to go down, climb down into Glen Aulin. So we're nearly there, but we have a big downhill. It's all over cobblestones and stuff. So I will go and get on with that. But this view, it's just amazing. You hike alongside the Tuolumne River, watching it twist and turn and thread its way through the granite rocks and boulders, tumbling over dramatic cliffs. So, just trail is meandering through the forest. We've come down through some pretty steep granite. It's quite the hike at altitude, but it is amazingly beautiful. Pretty ready to be at camp again right now. The whiny child inside is definitely feeling a little like enough is enough. But we'll get there. Just one foot in front of the other, not breaking any speed records. but just cruising through. I am on the bridge that is heading into Glen Aulin. We're actually here, which is amazing. Super excited to get the pack off and to find a camp and get ourselves sorted out and settle down. Glen Aulin is just the most beautiful place with this magical waterfall. And then we lay out on a rock under the stars and watch the Perseid showers, which was just incredible. I was a tiny bit intimidated on filming at night for the very first time. So I actually didn't do any filming on that first night, and more on the Perseids in a bit. Now you might be wondering what destination I failed to get to, given we got to Glen Aulin and we saw the Perseid showers. Well, on day 2, we planned a day hike to Waterwheel Falls, which would have taken us further in towards the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne. But Yosemite had different plans for us. The day started auspiciously enough. Beautiful blue skies, brilliant sunshine. It was gloriously warm. We are hiking through the most beautiful valley, surrounded by giant granite escarpments and wandering through wildflowers and under the shade of some beautiful trees and aspens. Just glorious. All along the way, we were tempted by swimming hole-sized pools of water with waterfalls splashing into them. But we were determined to get to Waterwheel Falls, and so we pressed on. So this is the most spectacular hike. I'm surrounded by high canyon walls and just walking alongside waterfall after waterfall. Really, it's just stunningly beautiful. And then somewhere, like down in here, is the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne, which I hope to hike one day, but obviously we're not doing it today. We're just doing a day hike. But it certainly is the most breathtaking, awe-inspiring scenery. So glad that we have this and that we're able to come out and be part of this amazing place. As I hiked along, reveling in the majestic beauty of Yosemite, I felt myself connect with this place, in kinship with the planet that is our home. As we pressed towards Waterwheel, the clouds started to gather around us. A light rain sprinkled on us, and the weather started to turn. Right now we have clouds coming over the top of us. We took a quick look at the weather and there were definitely storms rolling in, and we decided that the safest thing to do was to get back to camp as quickly as we could. You know, one of the things we were saying was that we got very focused on the destination of getting to Waterwheel, and there were tons of really lovely spots where we could have just stopped and spent a couple of hours and gone back to camp, and we chose to keep going. I think there's an interesting lesson in that this was a rest day and we could have just gone, let's go look for somewhere beautiful and just stop. But we got very caught up in, let's get to Waterwheel. But zero regrets about the day. It's been spectacular. Just hoping that we can make it back to camp before it starts raining on us again. We'll see how we go, hoping that there is no thunder and lightning, because that would get interesting. Now, we could have wallowed in our failure to get to our objective of Waterwheel Falls. But obviously staying safe was way more important than that. And also having spent the day in that spectacular place with the wildflowers and the tall canyon walls and the amazing Tuolumne River gurgling alongside us, it was impossible to be unhappy about that. We were chased by a thunderstorm. There was some pretty dramatic thunder as we were coming back into camp. So pretty relieved to get back okay. It was a little scary as we were crossing the granite, and I actually didn't do any filming because we were actually very focused on just getting back to camp where we could shelter from the storm. But when we got back to camp, the thunder stopped and the sun came out again. We were hot and dusty after a long day's hike, and we swam in the gloriously refreshing water of the Tuolumne River. Diving into that pure, icy water refreshed me on the deepest level. We had dinner by the waterfall that night, and I found some time to do some drawing. Just sitting here by the waterfall and just trying to capture the feeling of this place and the memory of this place. We soaked in golden hour, waiting for it to grow dark so we could watch the Perseids once again. Hi, Editor Claire here. Now, I would love to have shown you amazing footage of the Milky Way streaked with Perseid showers, but I'm just starting out on my videography journey and I don't have those skills apparently. I thought I took a night lapse of the stars using my GoPro, and this is what I got. I think there are like 3 stars there. But anyway, I have managed to get hold of some stock footage, so this will give you an idea of what we were actually looking at. And I hope to do better next time. As I lay there under the stars, watching the magnificence of the night sky for the first time in years, oohing and ahhing as the meteors streaked across the sky, I felt fully present. The aged granite of Yosemite, seeped with the wisdom of geological time, cradled me as I lay there. It's day 3. We're packing up to head out. It's pretty early in the morning and we've just woken to another beautiful morning here. Look at this place. This is right by camp. It is just absolutely beautiful, and I will definitely be back here. But all that remains now is to climb up and hike the nearly 6 miles back to the car. Sad to be hitting the trail, but extremely grateful and thankful that I get to spend time in places like this. I decided to carry my drawing kit where I could easily reach it instead of tucking it into my pack. Having my art materials ready while I hiked meant that I could take them out at a moment's notice to capture the things that I saw along the way. Partway through the climb up out of Glen Aulin, so we're now slowly regaining all of the altitude that we lost on the way in. It's the most glorious morning. The sun is shafting through the trees. There are birds and ground squirrels and lizards. It's really quite the most pretty climb. Now just hiking alongside the Tuolumne River and the flat stretch back to the car. We've probably got about 3 miles left to go and then we'll be done. This bit is flat, which is nice. It's also hot and sunny. There are patches of shade, but a lot of it is just slogging through sand. Granite dust, probably. Just getting the miles down so we can get back to the car. I think I just got a message. After slogging through the heat of the Tuolumne Meadows at altitude, it was a relief to see the gate come into sight, but also sad that our journey had come to an end and that we would be leaving that magnificent place. What an amazing trip to such a spectacular place. The sheer walls of the granite, the tall trees, and that water tumbling and roiling alongside us, ever present. Even though Yosemite prevented us from reaching Waterwheel Falls, it was still a rich and fulfilling experience. How could it not be? It's Yosemite. I left that magical place remembering that regardless of our destination, where we're heading, or whether we get there or not, it's actually the journeys that count and is where we find personal growth. And finding moments of joy while we're on that path makes us more resilient, more compassionate, and more caring. And we need a whole lot more of that in the world right now. It left me feeling replenished, ready to head back to the studio to see what comes next. Remembering to be in the moment rather than focused on a destination is proving helpful in the studio as I move into larger scale work. These works take longer to make, and so enjoying the process of making is a critical part of successfully resolving these works. So I'd love to know about any journeys you've been on and the things you learned along the way. Let me know down in the comments. And if you're interested in some of the other journeys I've been on, you can check out a link down below where I talk about my big gnarly journey from being a burned out corporate executive back to being a full-time artist. Also, I have an exhibition coming up in early December, so if you're in the Bay Area, hop on my mailing list, link down below, and I'll send you an invite to the show. So that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. And until next time, take care and bye for now.